Hi. So excited to be here with you guys. I got a little ambiance going as usual. And today I'm simulcasting, right? So I'm in my Facebook group, which is free. So for those of you who are over on YouTube, let's say you're a subscriber and you didn't know there's a free group, there is. You can go to bys.nocapes.org. That's B as in boy, Y as in you, O as in Oscar, S as in Sally, nocapes.org. I know some of you might be wondering, well, where's the crazy lip color? And I'm like, it's here. It's just today we did a subtle pink because the eyes are having so much fun. So I wanted to get into this today. I think it's super duper important because I see a lot of information floating around about relationships. And that makes me happy. But some of the information really makes me sad because it's coming from people who are giving you absolutes, who are not telling you to use your discernment. They're saying, well, if this, then this. There's really no absolutes in relationships except when it comes to abuse. I think that's the biggest one. But anyway, before I get too deep in, let's do a little bit of channel identification, shall we? I'm excited. Are you? Drop your comments. Let me know where you're coming in from, and let's get this party started. Let's go. Well, welcome to my channel and hello to my group members. I am Stephanie D. McKenzie, your favorite empowerment coach. And so today we're going to talk about love, and not just any love, guys, not just any love, but how to love yourself and to love others. Because like I said, there's a lot of information that's floating around. I'm not excited about it. And so I wanted to talk to you about it. Let me adjust. Okay, there we go. That feels so much better. All right. So the reason why I want to talk about this is because though I always say I'm an empowerment coach, I'm also a relationship coach. And as a relationship coach, that means for the last 10 years, I think I may be going into my 11th year, I have coached hundreds of relationships, be them premarital, marriages with challenges, sometimes pre-engagement. We've had very few pre-engagements, but it has happened. And, lately I've been talking to a lot of men. And the challenge with talking to men is that, unbeknownst to many of us, good men have been programmed to do certain things. And of those certain things, one of the things that really stands out is them being sacrificial lambs, them being martyrs. Like when they decide to be a good man or to be a good man, that means that they no longer care about what their needs are or having them met. And that's really dangerous, right? Really, really dangerous. So today I just wanted to give you a couple of points, a couple of things to think about as it relates to how to love yourself and others, because I feel like we have been getting the short end of the stick for the longest time. And by we, I'm meaning us humans, those of us that want relationships or in relationships, have been in relationships. We have been taught all kinds of wrong when it comes to relationships. We really have. If you can relate, put I can relate in the comments. So that being said, I want to go ahead and get started. Let me just check a couple of things really quickly because I am the person who has the glitches. I'm a glitch girl. So, yep, I'm a glitch girl. And let me fix my glitch really quickly. Coolio. And there we go. All righty. Now I just fixed my glitch. So absolutely, we are getting started with this because I don't want to keep you long. I don't want these videos to be extra, extra long. What I would like you to do, if you're new here, thank you for being here. Make sure that you like the video if you're over on the YouTube side. If you are a new subscriber, welcome back. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. I'm really excited about the content that we've been putting out, and I want to thank you in advance for your feedback. So make sure, if you do nothing else over on the YouTube side, like this video, subscribe, and tap the bell. Tapping the bell simply means that you'll be notified anytime I'm putting up new content. And here's a little secret. I've decided to put up new content every day this month. Every day, not every week, every day. So every day you're going to get a new video. You're going to get new insights. We've got a couple of meditation videos that are coming up, like so many things, because when I talk about you being empowered, I want you to be able to make great decisions. I want you to take actions. I want you to make decisions and take actions. That's what I want you to do. And you won't do that if you're trying to please people. You won't do that if you're seeking external validation. You won't do any of that because, and I feel like I've said this like 17 times today. When we let other people write our narrative, it means that we are no longer the main character in our story. Think about that. Think about somebody doing a story of your life and you're not the main character. So that means that it's starring all these other people and the things that they want to say and the things that they think. That's what's starring in your life. And so I'm going to challenge you this month, especially, and maybe even today, take back the pen. Normalize writing your own narrative. Take back the pen. All right, my dears. All right. So the first thing I want to get into, because like I said, I don't want this video to be super long. Feel free to drop your comments. Let me know where you're coming in from. If this is your first time here, put a 1 in the comments so we can shout you out appropriately. But one thing that is really bothering me that I've heard more than once is this idea that you have to give your all to somebody because you love them. Your all? What does that even mean? Your all what? Because I feel like that information is coming from people who decided that once you love somebody, especially if you marry somebody, that you now cease to exist. Everything is about the relationship. And the problem with that is, especially if it's a marriage, if you cease to exist, then there is a certain dynamic that will show up in your relationship that'll be very codependent and very dysfunctional because you're giving your all to the relationship. And if you look at the video, how to stop overgiving, you'll see how detrimental overgiving can be. It can shut everything down in your life because when you're overgiving to them, you're undergiving to yourself. Oftentimes, our closest relationships are going to reflect the fact that we're overgiving to someone else. They're going to reflect the fact that we're not giving to ourselves. So what does that look like? That looks like being with someone who doesn't make you a priority. That looks like being in a relationship where you are unfulfilled because everything is about the relationship. That looks like everything that's important to you being pushed to the wayside because you got to go all in. Let me not say, you can be all in a relationship and not give your whole body, yourself, your mind over to the relationship. And I think some of you understand what I'm saying because so many times I've seen with women and definitely with men, they're giving their whole self to the relationship. There's nothing left for them. There is no self-love. There is no self-care. There is no commitment to self. There's none of that. Okay? None of it. Now, today I recorded a video series called Being Taken for Granted. There's 3 videos in it. I'm really excited to share those with you. I don't know when they'll be coming out, but they'll be coming out soon. But the reason why I did that is because many times we set up the dynamics that allow people to treat us the way that we're being treated. Now, the next video I probably need to do is it a reflection or is it projection? Because that's a real question. Sometimes, and this is just a tip that I give to my clients, if you have a complaint about someone in your life, turn that complaint around on yourself. Oh, it seems like they're not making me a priority. Turn it into yourself and you say self. Self says, am I making myself a priority? Well, if the answer is yes, and you're tethered to a moderately healthy person, more than likely they're just reflecting. And I say that because I had a client who actually flipped her marriage in a week, simply by doing something that she felt was important for her to do. That's how she flipped it. Okay. Shocking, right? But then there's those times when you say, man, this person's not making me a priority. And you say self, and self says, And you say, well, am I not making myself a priority? And you answer, and your answer is a resounding, no, I'm taking really excellent care of myself. I'm making sure my needs are met. If I want to be active, I'm making sure that I'm active. I'm making sure that I'm resting. I'm making sure that I'm hydrated. I'm making sure that I'm meditating, all of that. So you start to check these boxes. And then once you realize that, again, it's still a great exercise. But at that moment, when you say, no, I'm making myself a priority, then you probably know that they're projecting something onto you. They're either dealing with being in a fear-based connection, that they're bringing the fear into the connection, or there's something else that's going on. Maybe they're triggered, or they're engaging in what I call hyperprotective behavior, where they're working really hard to protect and control the narrative because that's how they feel safe. Those are things that need healing. Just sorry, not sorry. But I wanted to share that with you. So there's no way that you can give your all to another person and that work out for you. There's going to be a void. And you're not going to be happy about the void. And ultimately, your relationship more than likely is not going to thrive. Just something to think about. Now, the next thing I want to give you is something that really bothers me. And I didn't realize how much it bothered me probably until after I studied it and said, you know, this is all the way wrong. So, hey, got comments over here? Hey. I don't know who this is. Oh, I think we've got a spammer, guys. I'm pretty sure we do. All right. So anyway, that has never happened to me before. So that's super duper interesting. First time for everything. So I have put them in timeout. We'll see how that works out. So anyway, the second thing that I want to talk to you about is something that, people have used this over and over again. People say it at weddings and all of that. And it's so interesting to me that no one has taken the time to realize what kind of love this is. And I think some of you know what I'm about to talk to you about. So anyway, like I said, this will be a great time. If you're liking the video, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and tap that bell. I'm super excited to share this with you. And I'll be going live every Wednesday, just so you know, so you can join in. So to all the subscribers, if you catch this on the replay, know that every Wednesday I'm going to be live. Not sure of the time yet, but I'll definitely be live. Okay. So we're going to be able to hang out and talk in real time, which really excites me because I want to get to know you and all that good stuff. All right. Okay, good. So the next thing is the verse from the Bible. 1 Corinthians 13. You probably know it as the love verse. Love is patient, love is kind, and on and on and on and on. And like I said, it sounds so beautiful, right? Love is patient, love is kind. I've even heard people say that, you know, in order to gauge where they are in their marriage, they will put their name in there. So if their name is Julia, Julia is patient, Julia is kind. And I'm like, you know what? There's only one problem with the love verse in Corinthians. Here's the problem with the love verse in Corinthians. It is about agape love. Agape love is unconditional, some would say divine love. It is not about eros, which is romantic, or phileos, which is friendly, brotherly, if you will, love. Philadelphia, phileos. And so people have been using 1 Corinthians 13 as a litmus test for how they should love. And I'm like, you know, that's not for your marriage. I'm like, literally, everybody just stops. 1 Corinthians 13 cannot apply to your marriage because it's asking you about agape love. I fervently believe that we as humans cannot love another human unconditionally. Because that would mean that whatever is going on is completely fine. Feel free to disagree. I'm okay with it. In fact, I welcome the exchange. But that's what I want to share with you is that if you've been using, and I remember doing it too. I remember checking myself when I was a fiance and saying, you know, this is who I need to be as a partner. And you can't do this. This is not your litmus test for eros and phileos. It is written for agape. And so just and that alone tells you that as a human, is it possible? Yes and no. I'm starting to believe that humans actually can't love unconditionally. We really can't, because even if I love you, there may be some conditions to me engaging with you, staying with you, remaining married to you. So we're using, as scripture often is misused, we're using scripture all wrong. Now, tell me this. How many of you ever thought about that verse not being for a marriage? Because listen, I've seen it on wedding invitations, I've seen it in vows, seen all of that. So how many of you ever thought maybe First Corinthians just isn't the move? Because First Corinthians will have you staying in a relationship that is not to your advantage. It'll have you staying in a relationship that the season has been over with. Because you're being told love is patient, love is kind, love keeps no record of wrongdoing, it doesn't boast, it doesn't do this, it doesn't. And true enough, there are some things about love in that verse that are definitely applicable. But for people to take this verse and say, this is how you're supposed to be married, incorrect. It was not written for marriage. It is literally a line by line definition of agape love. Agape love is unconditional divine love. It is not eros love, which is romantic love. It is not phileos, which is brotherly love, which means your lovers and your friendships are not defined by 1 Corinthians 13. I just had to let you know that. Sorry, not sorry. Like I said, oftentimes scripture is taken out of context. It is used the way that humans want to use it. And I'm just here to tell you that's not what that verse was written for at all. Yay. Hopefully we're still friends. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. And so what I think is so important is that when we are loving ourselves and others, that we realize that self-love is key. If I can't love me and love you equally, then we have a problem. If I have to martyr myself and sacrifice myself in order to love you, that's a problem. If I cease to exist because we exist, that is another problem. I'm just saying, guys. And that's what nobody is talking about. And meanwhile, we have people that are celebrating their 12th and 15th and 20th and 30th wedding anniversary, but they've been in a marriage that's been hell for the last 25 years. And we're like, yay. And I'm like, length and strength are two different things. But many times we were not taught how to be partners, how to be equal partners in a loving relationship. How many of you can say, yeah, I was taught to be a loving partner? Most people were taught that when they're a wife, they cease to exist. Men protect at all costs, put up with whatever she says. Happy wife, happy life, which is complete nonsense. Happy spouse, happy house. All right. There's my peeps. Hi, Facebook user. Thank you so much for chiming in. And you know, I think the thing that's so damning is that then it goes even further, right? Because as a woman, you become a wife, you cease to exist. You're now Mrs. Whatever. And then don't become a mother, because now you truly have to give yourself over to your children. And I've told you, it is an insult for someone to say all she ever does is care for other people. I don't want anybody to say that about me. I want people to say that I gave and then I also received. I want them to say that I operated in balance, that I took excellent care of myself, that I was an example of self-love. That is what I want you to say about me. I don't want you to say that she gave everything she had to her husband and her kids, or to her husband, or to the church, or to the whatever, or even to her work. I want to be an example of living life in balance, because what I know is that when we are out of balance, we are unstable. When we are unstable, we are double-minded. When we are double-minded, we are unstable. You see how it all just went full circle, right? Just woo. But when we are not balanced, we can't do good work. We're frazzled. We're tired. We're worn out. If you can't love yourself and understand what it means to love yourself, is not loving yourself is not an event. Self-care is not an event. I need you to evolve and expand past the construct of a bubble bath and a bottle of wine. That is not self-care. Getting your nails done every other week is not self-care. Getting a pedicure, not self-care, not self-love. That is maintenance. Self-care and self-love evolve from your ability to say, you know what? I need to make this decision because it's best for me. I need to take this action because it's best for me. I need to tell them no. I need to rest. I need to meditate. I need to eat well. Self-care and self-love is a lifestyle. It's not an event, people. And as I've often said, please feel free to miss me with your celebratory pedicure and your celebratory bottle of wine and bubble bath. You can feel free to miss me with all of that. And somebody came back one time and they said, well, self-care is whatever you need in the moment. That's true. I believe that. But if that's all you're doing, if literally you just came in from a day, right? You take a 2-hour bubble bath, but during the day, you have dishonored yourself in so many ways. You have allowed people to breach your boundaries. You have allowed people to misuse you. You haven't been a proper steward of the goodness and the greatness that is you. Don't think that you get extra credit points because you sat in the tub until you wrinkled with some Epsom salt and some crystals and some frankincense oil. I'm just saying, and I love my oils, y'all. I literally have an essential oil arsenal. But don't act as if you've accomplished something. That's literally like you've been going to class for 8 weeks and it's an 8-week class and you took one test and you're like, yay. Well, honey, you're going to fail the class. You're going to fail the class. And so I want to challenge you to make self-love a lifestyle. I want to challenge you to do something so innocuous as taking a walk. Maybe you can't. Maybe you don't have the time to walk around the block like you used to, but walk to the end of the street because that's what you want to do. Or watch a movie because that's what you want to do. Or take a nap because that's what you want to do. Or do nothing because that's what you want to do. Oftentimes I find it so funny that people think I am so busy, right? They think I'm so busy. And I'm like, I'm really not that busy. I have a team set up that makes me look like I'm in a lot of places. But oftentimes I'm resting. I'm fighting with my hair, and today I lost. I'm battling with an outfit. I'm messing with lighting to try to make the videos look good. Or I'm teaching other groups. And that's another thing. If any of these topics that you see on the YouTube channel are things that you want to bring to your group or to your organization or to your business, then by all means, click on the link in the description box that says SDM Shift Talk, because I want to talk to you about it. Because I feel like the more imbalanced we are, especially professionally, the greater work that we do. And if you own a business, let's just say, and you want to get greater productivity, you want to have a healthier bottom line, teach your people how to love themselves. I realize that's antithetical to what, many of us have been taught. But we've got to celebrate the human. Our humanity deserves to be celebrated in every context. If someone gives 8 to 9 to 10 to 12 hours of their life to your organization, or if you're doing that in your own organization, it should be a fruitful time. It shouldn't be a chore. You shouldn't just be trudging through it like, oh my God, I can't wait till this day is over. It's your divine birthright to do work that you love, to impact others positively, and to be well compensated. I've been telling you that for years. But self-love is a thing. It's not an event. It's a belief system. It is It is a litany of decisions and actions that we take throughout our day. It is not a 7 p.m. bubble bath and a glass of wine or a bottle of wine. It's just not. And once we really begin to love ourselves past an event, then we become stronger. And then everything in our lives has to line up, because people that love you, they want to see you win. They want to see you engaging in self-care. I promise you, Girl Scouts honor. So hopefully this will help you hone in on the balance between loving yourself and loving others. It's not one or the other. It's not either or, it's and, it's both. And if I can't love me and make correct decisions for me and edify and encourage myself and love you, then we probably need to reassess. Because if you martyr yourself, the relationship will not thrive. Grow together, go together. Grow together, go together. Too many people are just going together and they're wondering why the relationships aren't working, because there's someone in the relationship who's creating the imbalance by being imbalanced within themselves. And as women, if you're a woman who's watching this, you know that we're some of the most powerful creators in the planet. We make children. We have a womb. We hold humans within our body. And it has been said, whatever you give a woman, she will take in and she will multiply it. So imagine if your lack of self-love is what you've taken in, and that's multiplying all over your world, all over your relationship, all over your business, all over your career. That does not sound like fun. That does not sound like the life that you deserve. Remember, in all things, you deserve greatness, and greatness is for you. And I want you to embrace it, and I want you to have it. And that starts with loving yourself beyond an event, making it a lifestyle, and then being mindful of how you're loving others. Stop using 1 Corinthians 13 as your litmus test. Like, stop it today. Tell a friend, that's not right. Sorry. Agape does not equal phileos and eros. It just doesn't. And then stop thinking you got to give your all. If it requires all of you, that might be a teeny tiny, really big red flag. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. That's all I have to say about that. Please feel free to drop your comments. Make sure if you're on the YouTube side of things that you subscribe if you enjoyed the video. There are plenty more. I think at last count, I have 23 videos on the channel. Literally, you can binge me. Like I have a longer list of videos than most TV series that I love. I just finished with Sweet Magnolias. They had 10 episodes. So about that. Does anybody watch Sweet Magnolias? I thought it was adorable. Did not enjoy the cliffhanger for this season. Team no spoilers. Nevertheless, but if you do want a few spoilers, please hop over and look at my lessons from the Tinder Swindler, because I think there are some good lessons in that as well. Also centered around self-love, intuition, as well as, empowerment. So nevertheless, my name is Stephanie D. McKenzie. I am a speaker, teacher, author, and coach, here to remind you to always be your own superhero, and to thank you guys for loving and learning with me. Have a beautiful day. Oh, and see you on the next video. Bye.